Changes may be on the way for state programs that care for adults with disabilities and seniors who need long-term care. The next state budget could eliminate IRIS, a self-directed long-term care program for adults with disabilities and some elderly. People taking part in IRIS can control their own plan based on their own needs and within an approved budget. IRIS participants can hire helpers, and this means many can stay in their own homes instead of going into nursing facilities. Governor Walker proposed moving IRIS into family care and contracting with insurance companies and managed care providers to oversee the plans. The Republican-led Joint Finance Committee tweaked Walker's plan in places, adding language that guarantees enrollees would still have a say in developing their care plans and would keep receiving state stipends to cover services they need, just as IRIS provides. But advocates for the disabled and elderly say they are still concerned. We're joined now by Kit Kirschensteiner, Managing Attorney for Disability Rights Wisconsin. Thanks very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you've been very vocal in your opposition to these changes. At this stage in the budget process, do you think you stand any chance of convincing lawmakers to not do what they're talking about doing?
We hope so. You never know until the last vote is cast and the bill is signed. So we are not stopping at this point. Joint Finance has concluded most of its work. There's one more opportunity in sort of a kitchen sink motion to maybe clear up a few of the points that are still able to be addressed by Joint Finance in a way that they think is not controversial. And then from there we go to the full legislature and we will start up again. People vote, people have have a say in what is going forward, and we need to be at the Capitol and keep it up.
You've had a lot of people out there saying you don't want these changes. Do you think the legislature has heard you?
We had hoped they had heard, and I have to say we were extremely disappointed after the Joint Finance Committee vote, because it clearly, from their actions,
12-4 in favor of these changes.
Correct. Indicated to us that if they heard, they rejected and disrespected the voice of the community that uses these services.
What concerns you about these proposed changes?
Oh, well, and the time we've got, I'll have to pick and choose very carefully here. There's so much that concerns us. Number one, there's the scorecard of long-term care, state long-term care programs. We're number 8 in the nation right now. The places they're looking to as for guidance start at 17 and go down to 51 ranking. What is wrong with what we're doing? If there's something to take us up to number 7 or number 5 to increase it, then we're willing to talk about things that need to be improved. But to throw it out and to start over with a for-profit model does not seem to be anything that's going to be helpful to people with disabilities.
One of the things you hear from Republican lawmakers is this is about sustainability, and that IRIS, as it is today, is not sustainable, that the costs have more than doubled in the last 3 or 4 years. We just can't keep going down this path. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, you have to look at family care and IRIS, because they go hand in hand, have been expanding into new counties. So, of course, the numbers are going to go up because there are more people. And there have been a number of people who have started in family care who have become disenchanted with the managed care flavor of it, where they're being told, no, you can't do this, you have to do this, we're telling you this is the way it's going to be, and have migrated into IRIS. So it's the average budget, that you receive a budget in IRIS of so many, depending on your needs, and so many dollars. The average person doesn't spend that budget. And that's a fact. And the Legislative Fiscal Bureau, who is a nonpartisan group that does analysis both of the legal and the fiscal pieces of this, has said it's unclear that A, the new system will produce any savings, and B, that there's anything that is really not cost-effective and working in the old system. That was all disregarded by the legislature.
Republicans will say they did listen to you on this notion that you could self-direct your care, and that there are parts of the IRIS program that will be included in family care so that you could still self-direct their care. What do you say to that?
Well, self-direct basically means choose. Choose can mean a lot of different things depending on the context. If you've ever gone to a restaurant not during the lunch hour or dinner hour and they give you an abbreviated menu, and you went there because you wanted the full menu and they're giving you one that's a third, that's still a choice. You have a menu, you can choose, but it's not the full choice. It's through managed care. They have never been willing to commit to same type of services, same level of services. Are they going to all be available? You'll be able to direct something.
It sounds to me like your big concern is the uncertainty here. We just don't know. Is that your concern?
Absolutely. We don't know. We don't know. They've shifted to for-profit from every MCO now is not-for-profit or governmentally based. They're shifting to potentially opening the pathway to for-profit. Where are they taking this profit from? They're not adding more money. So the idea is they're going to be taking it from either the care plans or the provider rates. I don't know, but it's not going to work out to be a better deal for people with disabilities or elderly.
Kit Kirschensteiners with Disability Rights Wisconsin. We appreciate your time today. Thanks very much for being with us. You bet. Jeb Bush is in. Donald Trump is in. Scott Walker is closer to getting in. We'll size up the state of the 2016 presidential field with ABC political analyst Rick Klein coming up next. And for political news and information throughout the week, you can follow me at Mike Goucher on Twitter.